Yeah. Hello everyone, it's Sean. I'm back for the next part of the Voyager, and I noticed that the side trench decal had lost a bit of its section at that end, and the front poor starboard side decal had lost a bit of its section at the front. Fortunately, I found that the tester's gunship gray here was a perfect match for the base gray on the decal. So I took note of that on the guide itself. And I'll take a picture of that section of the guide. Here you go. And take a picture of the ship with its decal repair. There you go. But that's why this Landing Legs Voyager is kind of a test bed, refine techniques and stuff. And I'll make sure once that paint dries to apply the microsol and microset to all decals I put down from now on, just to make sure they stay down properly. So I'm going to leave the ship like this, and possibly, now that I know it's an exact match, I might go into the painted decals and make them match, or remember that for the next ship and paint them with the gunship gray directly. Alright, so that's about all for today. I gotta give the paint time to dry before I continue work on the top decals, so see y'all later. Bye-bye. Eventually, when I get around to finishing this model, probably at the Hobby Club meeting on Saturday, March 11th, but I can display some of the other models at the Hobby Club. But this is Model 37. This is how it looks so far. This is the Landing Legs Voyager. I was lucky because the landing legs cover just enough of the ship that it can actually fit on the rotating stand. So that's excellent. And that's about, give it one more revolution so I can actually get the front-facing picture here. And that will be the end of this short and another preview for Sean's model builds. And I'll see you later. Okay, thanks for waiting. I'm back again. It's Sean. I have just spray painted the hull. And here, actually, move it back a bit and move the ship forward. This is just the spray painting stand. So there's the AS-18, the TS-32 Haze Gray, and the AS-25 Dark Ghost Gray. So now I'm going to angle everything so that the ship and the paints are in the same field of view. There you go. So I'll take the phone off the tripod and I'll show you what I did and explain a couple things. Be right back. So what I did is I did spray paint the AS-18. You can see it here, the IJA light gray. I spray painted the actual haze gray onto the sensor palette. You can see that there. But what I also did is I also spray painted the dark ghost gray, first time trying it, on the panels here. But I also made sure to overspray it on either side of the primary hull because I didn't want to have there any ugly drip marks. Now I do see one, but it's only on the side. Alright, so as smoothly as possible with the Q-tip, I took care of the paint. Don't worry, everything will be covered up by the masking. But you can see how, inexplicably, it almost got on the panel there too. But don't worry, everything's going to be covered up nicely with the masks once I come back on Saturday night. It didn't get all the white in there, You can see the Voyager dark gray I'm going to use here. There you go. There's a better view of the dark gray. Now, I'm going to try to do this carefully. Dark gray. Haze gray. Well, it looks, remember, what's on the front of the hull hasn't dried yet, so you have to wait until it does and then see what color it becomes. But since these are only for the side panels anyway, it doesn't matter if they're a different color, because that's not being spray painted. And once the main hull color, which is the light ghost gray, is applied, all these things will be covered up by masks to protect them and keep them that paint color. And any overspray will be taken care of. But what I found last time, when I had painted in the cells, and I tried to mask around the part I was painting, it left horrible mask lines on the ship. So this time I said, I'll just do the overspray, mask off the individual parts, spray the main hull color, and then after a few hours, because it only took about 3 hours to wait, lift off the painting masks and you get the nice clean lines. So that is what I will do for the ship. But here's a nice view showing the the three colors. So why don't I get that from all angles and we'll go from there. Alright, here's a view of the ship from the other side. I guess I'll bring the three colors into range again. There we go. And one more picture from the front. There we go. From the front. And try the other side too. I don't think I got that yet. Well, actually I did when I had the paint cans in front of it, but here's a picture without the paint cans. Here's a picture from this side with just the ship itself, with the three colors on it. And a picture from the back, just the ship itself. Okay. So that is all for now for the 1000 scale Voyager on the stand. I'm using the long stand for painting because it actually holds the ship more stable, as you see. So it doesn't rock around on the box or anything. And of course, once I'm back, that's what I will be using loose painting masks on the bottom for the bottom phaser and covering up all the nacelle panels and everything. Well, I actually did the nacelle part, but the main hull. And what I've decided also is that I'm going to paint the phasers by hand. As you can see, I know I have the spray paint for the long phasers because they have masks beside them, but I also have wood deck tan in the manual Tamiya for the small phasers, the ones that the see, it doesn't even turn on the stand. That's great. The ones the phasers that are at the back of the primary hull. These long phasers will be painted in by the spray paint. Small phasers will be painted in by hand. And of course, the panels that are already the color I want them to be will already be covered up. So that's no problem. And I do have a match for the dark gray so that I can paint the little clear pieces for the torpedoes that color. So that is basically all for today, all for the Voyager model until next week. I didn't have enough footage to make a video on this. Besides, I already have a video planned that I'm actually going to upload today, Thursday, because I always travel to the Hobby Club meeting on Friday, so no time to upload the videos then. I'm going to have to wait for, going to have to do that tonight. And so it'll take a couple weeks before you see this footage from Voyager, but by then there'll be enough footage probably to show all of it painted. At least the spray paint parts, maybe even some detail painting as well. So talk to you all later and hope you have a good weekend. And for those of us that have it off, have a good March break. Bye-bye. All right, I'm back again. This is the detail spray painting on Voyager on the stand. Don't worry, that's just a painting stand. I put the AS18 light gray on the shapes on the nacelle mounts here. I put the AS25 dark ghost gray both inside the torpedo launcher and back here. And I had initially sprayed the haze gray around on the front sensor palette and the back one right there. But then I realized it hadn't filled in completely, so I used my mixture of Voyager dark gray to do it. So you can see the results of painting everything there. So that's all for now, and this is a teaser for a video that won't be posted for a couple weeks. See you later. Hello everyone, I'm back at Sean from Sean's Model Builds. I was at my hobby club meeting on Saturday and I got more progress done on Voyager, the landing legs Voyager. Specifically, I got the escape pods done on both sides, the phaser horseshoes, as you can see here, on both the small and the large ones. Yeah, you can see the iridescent rays on the ship here. And of course, I just finished doing the iridescent on around the bridge dome. You can see it on those little colored squares. And here are the port side escape pods and phaser rings. So that's about all the progress for Voyager right now. And I'll do more later and give you another preview clip. So see you later. Hello everyone, it's Sean and I'm back here for the next part of model number 37. I'm going to actually put on get them out of the bag, the registry number and a name, because I have an idea for a diorama. One that I don't have to build anything for because I can do it outside. Anyway, I'm going to put on the registry number and then we'll go outside and I'll show you my diorama idea using nature itself. So I'll be back once the decal's on. Alright, so you can see the registry here on the ship. Now what I did is I took the example from the box and I matched the example from the larger Voyager that I did years ago. As you can see where the N is, but I nudged my end down a little more, made it a little straighter. So that should work just fine for now. Wanted to make sure everything was centered, and that you still have room to put the little decals like number 6 on top of the sensor palette there. Don't want anything to go wrong. So now that the registry number's on, I'll take a few pictures of the ship while it's on the desk. And then I'll get ready to take it outside for the diorama section. Now I'm going to film that in both formats, both the shorts format and the long form format. And I think that this video segment I'm doing right now will be the last for this week. And it's the major decals done on Voyager. You just have a lot of little ones left, like side windows, stripes on the other side, etc. A few little number 4s, not all across the phasers, of course. And then all the little top decals that go everywhere. although some might be reduced to just little Sharpie dots like I did with the Defiant. We'll look into that later. And I am also planning on doing a iridescent on the raised ridges on the bottom of the saucer, kind of beside the phaser strips and everything. Alright, so that's all for now for model number 37. And I'll come back with the diorama outside in a few moments. See you then. Hello everyone, this is Sean from Sean's Model Builds, and this is just a little diorama out in nature of what it would look like for my Voyager model if Timeless had actually been successful. And there you are. So I'm going to get some pictures of it now, and then we'll put it on Facebook. And this short will go. And here's some video of Voyager at the very top of the snowbank. Of course, I'll take some pictures while I'm up here as well. And I'll take some pictures while I'm back a bit. So there we are. There's Voyager at the very top of the snowbank. If I zoom in, you should be able to see it now. So that's a pretty good video there. I'll turn it around the other side. Alright, so here's Voyager on the top of the snowbank, facing the other way. And I'll get back again, all the way to the bottom. And then you zoom in on that lower left side of the snowbank and you can see Voyager sitting there. Now I'll turn it to the front and the back. Here we go. So I turned the screen brightness to maximum so I could see everything. So here we go. It looks like Voyager's cresting the snowbank like it did in Timeless. So now I'll take video from the back. Alright, here we go. Here's some pictures of Voyager from the back and the video. So we'll get to down the cliff again and take it from the distance. Alright, there we go. So you zoom in on the left flank of the snowbank, and there you go. You got Voyager. I don't know how clear it's going to be. I'll zoom back a bit. Alright, so there we go. That's all for now. Now I'll take the short of it up on the snowbank. Be spliced a bit. Alright, here we go. This is Voyager taken from the top of the snowbank. I'm going to ease my way down now. See what it looks like. Casting here, and if you zoom in enough, there you go. You see Voyager. It looks like it's crossing through the snowbank. Almost like it's cresting the top of it, just like it did in Timeless. So now I'm going to take a bit from each side. Alright, so here it is from the starboard side, from right next to it. Here it is from the starboard side from the base of the cliff. You can zoom in enough to see it there. So then I'll do the back side and the left side. Alright, so here is the back side of Voyager, looking out towards the tree line. Now I'll get down to the base of the cliff and see what it looks like from there. Alright, you can see it here. And we zoom in carefully. So that's 6.8 times there. That's a pretty good view. You can see the ship there. Now I will go back to the left side and we'll be done for the day. Alright, so here we go. Here's Voyager on the left side. So before it gets too windy, I'm going to get down to the base of the cliff, take the video, and we'll be done. There we go. Now Voyager looks like it's just resting on the snow because I buried the landing legs. So there's a good picture and video of the ship. So here's the photo. Here's the other photo. And that's done. Back again from being outside. As you can see, the micro saw and micro set kept the registry in place well enough. So I'll probably, this week, I'll probably focus on the decals that are on the top of the bridge dome. You know, decal 35, 34, 33, and 32. Those four at least. And the other two bridge escape pods, which are number 36, which appear to be missing. That's a bit distressing. They're marked on the sheet, but I might paint them that plain buff color. We'll see. I might have to think of something. Maybe some little scribble with black Sharpie. And a tan color. Of course, some of the decals that came off the ship, like the side portal, which should have been right there, were applied during Christmas when I forgot my microsol and microset at home and didn't buy any. But I'll keep looking. I might have made a mistake. It might not actually be the... I know it. Let's see how it says decal 35. But if you look at the bottom, I don't see anywhere where it actually mentions decal number 35. You see that? And then you take a look at the side. Of course, there are no escape pods for the side. You look at the top and you see, 39, 38, 6, 37, 6 again. There's a bunch of 6s. So 6, 38, 37. It mentions 30. Oh, I see. There's where 35 goes. Along the top of the bridge there. So there is a missing 36. So I'm going to have to think of something. But that's why this Landing Legs Voyager is the proof of concept model. And not the one I'm going to get autographed. Those are ones that are on bases. So at least I will put on the top bridge details now, and that should work for right now. This is why I'm also glad that I have the big Voyager, because the 670 scale or so, because that means that I have all these spare decals I would need in case something went missing. And to account for the missing decals on this ship, I'm probably going to have to order a set from JT Graphics or something, especially for the missing hatch. I'll do that eventually. But for right now, I'm going to cut out the two escape pods, although I could probably keep them beside each other. There we go. And put them on the proper section of the bridge. See, now we're getting into some long form content again, but that's all right. That's why I looked at my YouTube analytics and realized I have two groups of watchers now. I have the youngins who like the short form content, and I have the people my age, 45 and over, who like the long form content. So give them both something to watch, and we'll see how it goes there. So I'm going to soak the decal now in the decal water, which should be somewhat warm still. There you go. Even though it's sunk to the bottom, but don't worry, I will take care of that later. That's what the tweezers are for. I can use them to get everything off the ship. I mean, off the bottom of that section. So I will put every single decal in the bag that I'm not using at this moment. Like that. Put it in the box. You've got the decals I will be using today. There we are. Take a photo of that. All right, so I will retrieve the decals now, and we'll see how we're going here. If I bring the ship closer to me, I can move the instructions to the orientation I need to put the decal on successfully, which is actually this way. And there we are. Okay, so let's see here. Tweezers. Come on. I could go at it from the side as well, but that might cause more trouble than it's worth. There you go. Alright, so the Q-tip to get the, put some moisture on the area. There we are. Oh, wait, that's not model 36, sorry. That's where it was. Here we go. There we go, the bridge escape pods. Okay, so the writing is along the bottom, since it's already partially off the decal anyway. Might as well use the toothpick to ease it off the rest of the way. There we are. Use the toothpick to ease it into position so that it's on the squares properly. This is where being left-handed comes in handy because I'm not blocking your view, you see. There we go. Now, instead of drying it out with a toilet paper or whatnot, what I'm actually doing instead is using the microsol here to solidify it in position. There. I will mark the sheet to reflect the decal that's on it now, which is number 35. Mark the sheet like that. There's decal 35. Alright, so then you move on to the rest of the top of the bridge section. Let's start with 34 because it's on the completely different side. Now it's made up of several different sections, as you can see, but according to what I can see, it's all one piece. Now, hopefully that's not going to be too problematic. We're going to find out. Because I could always paint that wood deck tan or something in case it fails. But I've found sometimes it's easier to actually cut the decal up into several sections because there are raised areas on the ship, as you can see, where each decal is designed to go anyway. So if you cut it up into several sections, then you don't have to worry. But I'm actually going to focus on the two front decals right now because that's the part that's not actually going to touch the escape pod. You don't want to dislodge anything. And I'll save this decal for the very end. So I'll be back once I've done some decal application. All right, here we go. So here's the Knight Rider car. This is Folk Art Camel. And you can see the color of a decal when it is applied. That is almost Folk Art Camel is the closest I'm going to get to that color. I can show you on the cards here. You see, I always do color card. There's Folk Art Camel. Then there's that Testors International Tan. So let's get a comparison view here. Testors Tan. Testors International Tan is there. Folk Art Camel is there. I think Folk Art Camel's the one. So I'm going to try that now. We'll see how it looks because we have to wait for it to dry. All right, so I should be able to show this on camera. Actually, let me zoom in a bit. See if I can get it. Ah, good. Here we go. All right, here we are. Here we go. Just a little bit on the brush. You don't want to have too much because you don't want to see brush strokes. So let's see how we do here. All right, so there's the color of the escape pod versus the, went blurry, versus the deck tan. Zoom it back in. There we go. There you are, that's better. See, you can see the color comparison there. All right, so we'll let it dry. And we'll see how it looks once it's dry. Just do a little more on the bottom one. It might take a couple coats, but that's the closest I'm going to get for now. And I'll do the black Sharpie later. So now I'm going to apply the top bridge decals and we'll see how we go from here. Nothing quite like getting the decal down on the very first try, as you can see there. So I'll just put the micro sol on it to solidify that position. Interesting thing about this, these top bridge shape decals, they are almost the same shade as the White Star Buff of the Titanic. Now, of course, I have already posted a Titanic slideshow, so you've seen the pictures of that yourself. So now, I will go for decal 32. And then I'll go for decal 33, and that'll be the final decals for this ship. But what I intend to do today as well is actually take the Tamiya buff here and paint the phaser decals on model number, not the buff, it's too dull, wood deck tan. You saw that in the earlier short. So that'll be coming up later in this video, and that will close out this update video for Sean's model build. So I'll put on the other two decals and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so as you can see from the instructions, I got everything on. I even put antique gold on the top of the turbo lift shafts there. And you can see the ship here. Let me get everything out of the way and I'll get back. Alright, so there are the pictures now of the ship, with a lot more detail on the top of the bridge. And from the back, there we are. And then, of course, you have to turn it to get to the other side. But that's a nice front picture there. I like that one too. Ooh, look at this. Slightly angled. I like that. Then there's this one. Oop, gotta get it all in frame. Actually, bring the camera up, turn it down a bit. Should be able to get it all in frame. There you go. I like that one too. All right, so that is the end for Model 37 for this week. Might as well just set it in its box for now. Doesn't fit in its box, so it'll rest up here for now. And now we move on to model 38, which will be another small video, painting the phasers. Hello everyone, it's Sean. I'm back again for the next part of the Voyager build, and I'm taking a trick I learned from my one of my earlier videos and using the flash during the video itself to restore the white balance. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the phasers manually with the wood deck tan. Use the Q-tip to take off any excess, and then cover both the dark here and the phasers with some of the extra masking material from Lou's masks. And that should take care of everything. Because I realize you don't want a bunch of overspray on the ship. So I'm just going to paint the parts manually. So anyway, that's about all for now, and we'll see you here later. Bye-bye. So I'm back here for model 38, and in this case I am going to try to use Lou's painting masks, not to spill over the phaser a bit. Don't want to spill over onto the hull, but let's see how this goes first without using the masks. Just want to see if I can detail paint by hand and use the Q-tip well enough to get this working. We'll start at the back. So there we go, there's the belly phaser. I used the Q-tip along the edges. Oop, I missed a little something right there, see? So that way it saves you a lot of complicated masking. You just use the Q-tip while the paint is wet, and it gets all the excess off. Alright, so now we move on to the saucer phasers. I'm going to do them the same way. And then go from there. Now I may also use my Voyager dark gray here on the little hexagonal sections. Yeah, I might as well do all that. Alright, so I'm going to finish the phasers. We'll take the picture of that, and then we'll go from there. And the good thing about doing the detail painting before you paint the phasers, as you paint before you do the main hull, is that you make sure that any cleanup is done while it's still basically on a primer coat. And that way you don't have to worry about messing up the base coat with everything. So now I'm going to try, on camera here, doing the main phaser. Now I'm only really doing the trench right now because I don't want to have to, it's hard to cover the sides. So I basically just do the main section of the phaser itself. Not even that much, because I know there'll be cleanup. I know that. But I'm just trying to get it to work right now. Just mainly a first base coat on here, as you see from there. And of course, keeping in mind that you have to do some, there we go, see? Because you want to make sure that you get any phaser color spillover off the section you're going to mask off and keep that more brownish gray. So you want to make sure to go in while everything's still wet and get any excess color off the sides. Like so that it's left just on the phaser strip itself. So now there's just one more to do. This one. And then we'll be almost done for the day. So I'll be right back. All right, so there we go. There are the bottom phasers done on the ship. And the excess wiped away. So now I'll turn it around and get all the other photos. Here's the back photo. I had to get quite far back for that. Then the starboard, bottom starboard anyway. And the front photo. So now it's time to do the dark shapes, and I'll be back. All right, I have labeled the bottom of the saucer, spray painted in pink, the medium sea gray, wood deck tan. Now it's time for the very small shapes. And I'll be back. Actually, I'm not going to use the dark gray on those hexagonal pieces after all. To account for Star Trek 50 years, I am going to use the antique gold because they're going to simulate the landing leg covers on the TOS Enterprise. You've got to account for some antique gold somewhere on the ship. And I figured I'd put it on the bottom so it's not too obtrusive. Leave the outer ring the gray, of course, but cover up the inner ring. So just give me a moment here. I'm just coloring inside the piece. So I'll be off camera for a bit. Kind of like that. And then you do the same with the other hexagon. Do a bit of deliberate spillover. There you go, like that. All right, so that is all the parts that hopefully Lou made masks for. And now everything is ready to be covered up on the ship, especially the parts that stay that AS-18 light gray. All right. So that means that in a couple days the ship will be ready for masking. I can spray paint it. After I cover up everything, I can spray paint it with the main hull color, which will be a great thing. And then you go in with detail painting. You know, you paint these a slightly lighter gray. You go in and paint the side trenches with the dark gray. You paint all the windows and everything. You maybe do the iridescent fan lines on the bottom here. Not on the top on this ship, but I will do it on the bottom. And of course the RCS thrusters, those will be painted after everything is done. So that's good. So we'll put the ship aside and wrap up this video for this week. Okay, so I'm back again. This is the wrap up for my update video for mid-March of 2023. I'll include footage that I got done since the last part of Model 37, the landing legs Voyager. And I'll include footage that I got done since the last video I posted on Model 38, Voyager on the stand. And that way everything should work out nicely. And I can include a different kind of video in my channel where I do a weekly update, especially if I get work done on 2 model builds in the same week. Makes sense to do it that way. I'll probably call it Model 37 and 38 updates for, and then I'll list the time period that I include footage for. And of course, you've seen the earlier YouTube shorts. They'll be included in this video too, especially if that one with the outdoor diorama. So that's all for now for Sean's model builds. I'll post this in 2 days, Wednesday the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.